Well, growth can mean many things, but for me, we started at a very small point in time. And we started with a small number of children, and we started because there was a need.
I started out as a psychologist working in Dr. McCarton's private practice. And when she approached me to start the school with her, I told her that I know nothing about running a school, so I don't think that I can do that, and here I am 10 years later.
You know, back at the start of the school, I think some days seemed much more overwhelming than they do now. It kind of seemed like, oh, how are we going to get ourselves all sorted out? How is this ever going to all come together?
It was frightening, but it was also tremendously exciting. We knew that if Dr. McCarton said it would happen, it would happen.
What I think about when I think about 10 years ago was unknown, but absolute belief, okay? What do I think about now, 10 years later? Unknown, but absolute belief.
Let's do it. You ready? Ham. Again. Ham. Nice job.
There's even been growth in terms of philosophy, methodology. So every place I turn, I see the word growth. And our children really have fantastic abilities.
Is that funny?
Good.
5 by 3.
Good.
In the time before the school started, Dr. McCarton and Jackie and myself and the parents also that had started the school had seen a number of different schools.
Historically, kids were never allowed to have a whole lot of choice. They never allowed to be in control, and competence, forget about it. They were assumed to be incompetent. At McCarton, we want to shift that paradigm on its head.
What really became apparent as we evolved our philosophy is that one-on-one teaching really was just not enough.
And so our idea of ABA was really to start with teaching practices that look at what do we need to function, what do our children need to function, what can we teach them that will get them integrated as members of their family and their community.
And let's try food.
How many points do you think you should get? 4 or 5?
4. Yes. 4? 5.
Yeah, go for the higher one. Let's say fast. High fives.
The thing that you must always think of when you think of the word disability is that the word ability is embedded in the word disability. And our children really have fantastic abilities.
What is he eating? He's eating a sandwich, tell me. Nice job, Lucy.
We wanted to create an environment that was an environment where the children weren't scared to come. We wanted school to be a loving place. If you don't feel that you're loved and you're accepted, then you don't want to work. And we're asking the children to work very hard.
So number 1, we did a sentence together. Now I want you to write a sentence by yourself.
So we really had a conviction about the methodology that we were developing. And I have to say that even having done this for 10 years now, we're even more firmly convinced of the integrated model.
It's hard. Okay. Mitch, do you want to try to pronounce it?
When I came here, I had a variety of expectations. I knew the reputation of McCarton. I was very happy to be a part of it. What I've been most pleasantly surprised with is the real forward-thinking collegiality that I find here.
We're a much better oiled machine in terms of how we work together.
I have absolutely grown in the year and a half that I've been here. I mean, I don't really go back to my textbooks anymore. I look to my elders that are here who have been here longer than I have.
We meet almost on a daily basis, the whole team, including the directors.
The model that we want for the children, we also wanted for our staff. We wanted to treat people with respect for who they are, for what they have to offer, and I think that that's something that makes our school different.
People say, oh, you're the leader. But I never think of myself in those terms because I have this fantastic team of people. And this fantastic team of people, they're always coming up with wonderful ideas. They're always thinking about ways to do things differently. And I'm the one that's learning from them.
Here, go to that one, number 5, right here. All right, Joe, come on. Joey.
We never had a point where we could say, okay, we've made it. Our children change, so we really have to adapt to them as well, and we have to learn how to work with each child individually.
I'm often asked if it's realistic to have a goal of, real independent lives in the community. And my answer is yes, I think it's very realistic. As a matter of fact, I think it's necessary.
In my own classroom, I've seen my boys go from boys to now they're turning into young men, and I think that's an amazing growth. We work on things in the community, going to restaurants, going shopping, and I see them interacting more and more with other people outside of school, outside of staff.
Our kids are maturing, they're aging, some of them are like taller than us.
Like, that's the beauty of it. That's like there's so much potential in these kids. Like, every single one. It's just a matter of tapping it.
The reality is that, okay, we have a lower school and now we have an upper school, but they're not going to stop growing when they're 18 or 21. And so what happens when they're 21? I mean, do I just say this has been a wonderful experience and thank you very much, and now I turn to the parents and I say, okay, you're on your own?
Change is hard for all of us. But as kids get older and as our field grows and we know more about autism, we know more about intervention, we know more about education, we have an ethical obligation to change a little and to grow a little and to continue to evolve.
I think for our next hurdle that we have to jump is, how do we teach people that people with autism can be productive members of society? And I think that's our next challenge, is really taking our students and making them productive members of society.
Oh, the future for McCarton is the future of these children. When I think about my career in medicine, I think these past 10 years have been the happiest years of my life as being a doctor. And that's really what this is all about. It's not just dealing with a 3-year-old, but it's going to be dealing with a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old. So we have a long way to go.